Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I am painting a portrait of my dog Alex. I do have a full-length video on this on my Patreon. This is going to be a much quicker, fast-paced video, but it does show you parts of my process. For this painting, I started out with a sketch using a colored pencil, and the paint I'm using are the cellular watercolors, and then I am using a Princeton brush. I'm using a size 8, and then the sketchbook I'm using for this one is the Etcher, I forget the name of it, but it's the white covered sketchbook and it's the portrait view. I much prefer the portrait over the landscape. I don't know, it's probably due to the subjects I draw. So one thing I've been wanting to do for a really long time is try to paint a really nice portrait of my dog. So in this one, I'm doing the approach of trying to focus on everything. So I'm focusing on the color, the detail. I'm really trying to nail down the fur, but I haven't done a lot with fur yet. So I kind of did it pretty quickly and mindlessly, I guess. I didn't think about it too much. I just really focused on like the direction. When I start out with a painting like this, I like to have a focal point, and the one part that I focused on was the nose. I think for animals, the noses can be really cute, and that area just really kind of draws your attention along with the eyes. So I started out with the eyes, nose, and mouth area. And then I kind of started to tackle the fur, which I'm still unsure of how to approach that. So I just kind of played around with it and had fun. It's definitely not perfect. It's sort of what I had in mind, but not entirely. So I'll probably be doing quite a few more pieces of my dog. But mainly as far as color goes, I stuck with the browns. So I used gold ochre a lot, burnt sienna, raw sienna, burnt umber, and black. And a little bit of yellow ochre is how I started the piece out. And then raw sienna, I don't know if I said that. So really sticking with those neutral colors. I did use also some Van Dyke brown. But then I don't know, I just kind of started layering on the colors, really focusing. I think something that helped me a lot too was focusing on the shadow areas and kind of blacking out the shadows from those light highlighted areas. So how I painted this one, usually with watercolor, you start with your lightest colors first and build up. And when I got to the fur, I kind of did the opposite. I worked as if it was an oil painting, and I started with my dark colors, and then I built lighter colors onto the darker colors. And then of course, since these are cellular watercolors, these are really Good for glazing, so when they dry much lighter than what they actually are. So I was able to do a bunch of layers, really building up those colors. So that's, I think, why this approach kind of worked for me. But I don't necessarily like how the fur turned out. It's definitely not as accurate. If you were to compare a photo of him to this painting, which I'll add a photo up here so that you can see. But like the direction of the fur is pretty inaccurate. So that's something I think I'll be working on next time, is how to make that a little bit more accurate. But I was also trying to work quickly because because this is my sketchbook, I didn't want to have this turn into like a 40-hour long painting. So I think overall this painting probably took me about an hour and a half, 2 hours to do, start to finish. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I think aside from the fur, it does represent my dog fairly well. I mean, looking at it, you can tell it's a golden retriever. So I think it was a really good exercise. So I'm clearly doing another one on the left side of this sketchbook, which I'll post the video of that too. It's focusing specifically on color. So be sure to check out that one. I should have it up in a few days. But this is definitely something I'm gonna continue doing, is just painting more portraits of my pet, maybe other people's pets, or just animals in general. Just trying to nail down how I want them to look and how to keep them within my style. So I hope you enjoyed watching this, and again, I have the full-length video on my Patreon that you can see. But thanks for watching. Bye!